Hey everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my video, or I'm sorry, my channel. I was on, I believe yesterday, and I said I wanted to split up my reading and I was going to read on the FBI and the Justice Department, and I totally did, right? I totally did. I did this big old second video, and at the very end, right when I finished the last card, I realized I had been calling the Department of Justice the FBI during the whole entire video. So it's like I did two readings on the FBI. Blew it. So I had to scrap that, and now I'm back today. So I want to look at the FBI and the Department of Justice and the Insurrection Investigation, which, as you know, they're calling the largest investigation that the nation has ever undertaken. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with a look at the FBI. Okay, a look at the FBI. So let's just lay this spread and see what it says today versus yesterday. Okay, I'll bring it down for the spread. FBI Spirit, show us the FBI. How are they doing? Okay, I'm just gonna, my whole thing, okay? Because I don't typically keep them upside down. So FBI. Okay. So we're starting out here with the King of Wands. The King of Wands. So, okay, in this case, I'm going to consider the King to be the FBI as opposed to Christopher Wray, because I'm not really reading on him personally, and it fits, right? The King of Wands, this is the authority that you go to when you need assistance with issues of law. Swords would have been good, but with wands, this is a working group, okay? They're not legislators. For example, I'm going to just go ahead and bring this up. Why not? Hey, so legislators to me would be your swords. With the FBI, these are workers, right? They're boots on the ground, people in the field doing hard work, investigating, phone calls, writing, researching, clandestine operations. They're the authority when it comes to this kind of work that has to do with protecting us, and truth, honesty, and good works and so forth. Okay, so I'm just saying that I love this card too. This king is awesome. This King of Wands, okay, this is the FBI at its best. They're the leaders of that work. What is their challenge? We have the Ace of Cups. So obviously you could pick any number of challenges for the FBI. Since I do want to read on the insurrection, hopefully after this, still this is it, right? Like I said, this is the biggest investigation the nation's ever undertaken. The FBI's part in this is just huge. So much work to do. So basically what I'm saying is this Ace of Cups, this is a new investigation, a new project, a new work, a new undertaking that they're doing. And look at this eye. They're investigating, they're looking at, they're observing, they are going to be watching, they're looking at something in this cup, something that is just really profoundly emotional. And the insurrection riot and all the attendant issues around it are that. It's not just a matter of, someone breaking the letter of the law or just some white collar corruption. No, it is so much bigger than that. It goes to the heart of our nation, right? The heart of what it means to be patriotic, to be an American, the kind of future we want to have as a country, if we want to be, integrate our immigrants into our nation, or if we're going to remain a racist and segregated society. So lots of different deeply emotional issues are at play in this investigation they're undertaking. This is the biggest thing they've ever done. And again, look at, I got this yesterday when I did this. These moons are also telling us there's phases to this. This is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take a length of time, and this is going to go through different phases and aspects during its cycle, okay? So this is a long-term endeavor, but this is in the challenge position to the FBI. So that is telling us it's a challenge, okay? This is the biggest thing that they've ever done. Maybe it's the broadest. Maybe they've, I don't think they've ever had to deal with domestic terrorism to this sort of extent. I mean, hunting down Americans, right? In addition, there's funding issues, resource issues, the money that it's going to cost, the time that it's going to take. And unlike so many other things that they might be investigating, this goes right into the heart of democracy, right? They're going to be looking at House members and senators and police officers and ex-military people. What an incredible challenge to pursue justice and not tear the nation apart. Okay, so you all know all this. You can just imagine the incredible challenge that this undertaking is going to be for the FBI. Okay, so what is in the sky above them? What number is this? I think it's the 6. 7, of course, of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. So what they're going to have to face, so this is you reap what you sow, okay? Oh, and there's a lot of ways they're going to reap what they sow here. On the one hand, all the good works that they're going to put into this investigation, this process is going to be rewarded with results. So they're going to have outcomes. They're going to get results. The work that they're doing, they're going to reap the benefit of that. But on the other hand, some of the issues that they're dealing with, specifically the white supremacy issue and the infiltration of the police department and the judiciary, that is something that the FBI has turned their face from in the past. This is not something they've wanted to deal with, not something they wanted to crack down on. They turned the other way and let this fester. So in that regard as well, they are reaping what they're sowing. Now they must inevitably come face to face with what they have let slide all this time. And I'm getting the chills. Whew. So I think this is a big part of the message. The FBI has an opportunity to right past wrongs here, to really pursue things that they've let go because they were hard to do. Cracking down on racism in this country, it's so foundational to who we are. There's so many people. What, are you just going to go through the South and, arrest mass numbers of people? You can't do that. So there's a multifaceted aspect to this card, okay? They're reaping what they sow, both in having to right the wrongs of the past that they've let go, and also the work they're going to put in with this biggest investigation they've ever had to deal with will have its outcomes, its rewards, its benefits. I mean, those aren't exactly the right words, but it will bear fruit. Okay. So, what is foundational? The 4 of Cups. The 4 of Cups. This is foundational to this question, and this has to do with bad options, okay? And I think I just kind of hit on that already. There's no good options for them here with this kind of investigation. No good options. Pursuing Americans, right? Having to take down multiple legislators, okay? Senators, Congress people, police officers, the military. How do you do that without tearing the nation apart, tearing its people apart? We're so invested in supporting our troops and supporting the police and all this. And, you know, we hope, you know, obviously a lot of us know our legislators have been corrupt for a really long time, but for the FBI, there's no good choices here. There's no good way to go about it. This is hard work. Every way that they can go about it is going to be a difficult, heart-wrenching decision. Again, this is cups. It's all about the emotions, what this does to the nation. So, you know, this is why they turned their face away from some of these issues for so long. These are tough calls to make, but they're going to have to make them. They have to right their wrongs. Okay. What is the energy that they've just come through? Goodness gracious. The energy they've just come through with the 9 of Wands. Right here. So, this card can mean a lot of different things for me. The first thing I'm thinking here is that the FBI's been brought low. Okay. And what I mean by that is during the Trump administration, he disrespected them, belittled them, undermined them, believed Putin over them, and that, you know, multiple intelligence agencies here regarding that, but they've just been undermined, ridiculed, and they've made some mistakes, okay? They've made some mistakes. They've missed some intelligence, right? That is a huge part of the story of this insurrection, is what intelligence filtered down to the Capitol Police and so forth and so on. So they've been brought low. Okay, they're kind of on one knee. They are burdened. They're burdened not only with outside forces, but with their own inside forces too. But they're not down and out. They're not down and out. They're still holding on. And the goal here is for them to rise up again into their full power, to overcome all their obstacles, to complete all the work that they've undertaken. So this is the energy that they're moving into this question. So yeah, they're feeling burdened, disrespected, guilty probably is another one. And they know they've got a lot of work to do. So much work to do. They're not done. Okay. So I think they've been chastened. It's a bit of a comeuppance for the FBI. Where are they going to be going into? Goodness gracious. The lighting in here is so bad. It's the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups. Okay, so for the FBI, where are they going to be moving into here? They're going to be looking, I basically said they'll be looking, I think this is a foreign element here. They're going to be looking elsewhere. They're going to be looking at, you know, overseas kind of things. So normally this is someone who leaves everything behind them and moves on. FBI can't do that. That's not something that is a possibility for the FBI, right? To leave the country, move on. So it's very similar to the looking overseas card. This person is looking not at the land that they're coming from that's in front of them, but far away in the distance. And this moon is telling us that there's some, it's not a clear vision. There's not clarity there. There's some deception. There's some illusion. There's some shadow element there. The FBI is going, this I think is basically, it's not sort of a twilight card. They're going to be looking into the shadows, looking into maybe sort of fringe, extreme kind of elements, looking overseas, looking at distant lands. So in other words, I think this is telling us that there are a lot of the work that they're going to be doing, maybe for this insurrection investigation, maybe for other things, but they're going to be moving into a time frame where they're going to be looking abroad, I think, a lot. Now, the FBI deals with the US, but this is telling us there's some overseas elements here, overseas communications, some overseas element But that, or they're looking sort of on the, things that run under the surface, things that are in the shadows, things that are secret and quieted away, things like 4chan, right? Things like Parlor, this sort of network, this network of different groups that work together. I'm getting chills again. Okay. So this moon is about intuition. It's about plumbing the depths, right? Yeah, they're just going to have to like sink into the netherworld is the feeling that I'm getting here. Sink into the netherworld of these interactions, these groupings. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Something's happening to my phone. Sorry about that. So yeah, again, I think that's them looking at the sort of underground dark networks. That's probably what we're going to hear about sometime in the future with the FBI. So I'm going to leave that there, and I want to hit next on the Justice Department. So Merrick Garland is confirmed. They now have a leader who presumably has ethics and honesty and shares a vision with the president about priorities and what they need to be focusing on and so forth. And, it's the Justice Department really that's going to have to take the lead in and work with the FBI when it comes to legislators, right? Senators, House members, people who this kind of thing. So for example, Mitch McConnell, okay, he has been running the Senate into the ground. Some have said that he has acted unconstitutionally in his role as majority leader. This isn't really something the FBI, I don't think, would undertake. This would be an action for the Department of Justice. Again, this sort of conspiracy, this un-American conspiracy to overthrow the government when it comes from within the government. This is your Department of Justice. So I think these institutions, this is one of the cards I got yesterday, they're working together. There's cross-departmental communication. There's cooperation. They will be working together in this endeavor. They're not going to be working in silos like we hear about all the time. Okay. Department of Justice. Merrick Garland's Department of Justice. All right, let's take a look-see. Okay, everybody, so Merrick Garland's Department of Justice, we're starting out here with the King of Swords. And this is a perfect card to represent the Department of Justice. They are the authority that we go to when it comes to this issues of law, okay? They are the attorneys for the people. This is the Department of Justice for the nation. It's about justice, truth, honor, law. It's just pretty clear. That's a great card to represent them, especially now that Merrick Garland is leading this department. This is telling us he has the right intentions. He has the right tools. He's a solid leader. This is an appropriate leader for the department to do what they need to do. Okay, so what is their challenge? We have the Six of Cups. And just to tell you, aside from this sword card here, it's all cups. This entire reading is cups, which is really interesting for the Department of Justice. So I'm going to bring this back up. All right. So, Six of Cups. This is the challenge. And the challenge here, so the Six of Cups is about nostalgia, how things were. I think the challenge one of the main challenges that the Department of Justice is going to face is that so many norms have been broken, so many traditions have been lost, so many long-standing, maybe long-time employees, staff members have been lost. Like a lot of institutional knowledge has been lost from the Department of Justice. So while Merrick Garland, is exceptionally well qualified and he's going to go in there and rebuild, the fact is that he's coming into a department that has been damaged, okay? Their reputation, their methods, all their norms and traditions have been damaged with the Trump administration. So this is going to be a huge challenge for them. And one of the first things that they have to address, they need to get quality people in there who know what they're doing. They need to make sure that everyone in there is following the law, pursuing the investigations they're supposed to be pursuing, Elaine Chao, this kind of thing, right? So what is in the sky? What are they going to inevitably have to face? We get the Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups, of course, could mean that the Department of Justice will need to control their emotions and pursue justice, for the benefit of the people, all these wonderful things. But the feeling that I'm getting with this is that they're going to have a number of female issues come up. There's a number of things regarding women that are going to land with the Department of Justice. And the ones, I'm getting chills. Maybe it's just cold in here. I don't know. But let's talk about Elaine Chao, okay? I think they're going to have to look at Amy Coney Barrett. And if Mitch McConnell acted unconstitutionally in allowing her appointment, that might have to be looked at, okay? I'm also feeling, Governor Cuomo issues around sexual harassment. This might be something the Department of Justice has to deal with. And frankly, I'm also thinking of, and I'm sorry her name escapes me, but President Trump has a rape accusation in the pipeline against him that's coming soon. And that is also something the Department of Justice might have to be looking at. So even though everything is insurrection all day long right now, there are a lot of issues that women are central in or that have to do with women that the Department of Justice is going to be grappling with. This is in their future, I think, in some ways that we don't expect. Foundationally, we have the Seven of Cups. So foundationally, what I'm thinking with this card is that the paradigm that the Department of Justice operates in, their worldview is not quite right. There's a lot of delusions there, okay? A lot of false information, false beliefs, just wrong things that are going on in there. Maybe lies, maybe deception, a lot of illusions. And foundationally, this is an issue for them. So they're going to have to sort through. I think they're just going to have to clarify how they want to see the world. And I am kind of focusing back on women here. So a lot of these issues that could come up before the Department of Justice around women are going to force them to look at how women are treated in law, how women are treated, as far as pay equity, or how successful they are in court, or just the paradigm that the country lives in that allows women to be treated differently, harassed, or, what have you, okay, what have you. There's a lot there, and I think I'm feeling like if a lot of these sort of female-oriented issues come through the Department of Justice, it's going to start a national conversation about how we think about women. And I know that's kind of already started, and we've just come through International Women's Day, but this is all part of it. It's all part of it. You know, like someone was saying, maybe with the Cuomo thing and all these women, you know, accusing Cuomo, and they're so worried about, okay, was this planned? Is someone trying to take him down? You know, the timing is really suspicious. The first concern is on protecting him as a Democrat. No one seems to be really giving a crap about the women. You know, how come we live in a country where women still don't get paid equally? How come we still live in a country where spousal abuse should still be behind closed doors? Where, you know, women in poverty, women in healthcare. Okay, the list is endless. I think we've all heard of these issues. This is a feeling I'm getting here. All these false beliefs, all these illusions, these wrong ways of thinking about things. I just think the Department of Justice is going to have a role in shifting how we look at women's issues, okay? Because women are at the top of the read here. Okay, so the energy that they've just been coming through, that they're bringing into this read, is the Page of Cups. And I think it kind of ties in that they're feeling ill-equipped to address these kind of issues. They don't have the kind of thinking, the kind of experience, the kind of precedent that will help them make smart decisions over some of these kind of issues. And with these cups, again, we're talking social issues, issues of the heart, things that stir up the emotions and the passions of Americans, right? Social issues. So I think they're just feeling ill-equipped, a little naive about how they want to shift things moving forward into a different kind of country, different kind of paradigm, a different way of being in the world. Especially coming from the Trump administration. I mean, with the kind of people that he puts in and the sort of environment that he fosters, you know, the status of women probably really just took a hit, right? But it's still bigger than that. I just think that as an institution, they don't feel like this is their, you know, in their wheelhouse. This is not their expertise, but they're going to have to be called to some action in this way. They're going to be called to step up to the plate and shift those paradigms and re-see how we work, you know, how justice works in the world. Okay. So for the energy they're going to be moving into, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is a little bit different than my read yesterday with all these cups. With cups, I'm definitely, again, social issues is all about things that Americans care about. And what they're going to be moving into with the Ten of Cups here. So this is abundance, okay? This is well-being, security, feeling really great that you know you're taken care of. You know you have all the resources you need and more and more. You have some wealth. You have some luxury. You have some leverage. You know, you can buy the fine meal and drink the fine wine and take your vacations. And it's a wealth and abundance card. So what this is telling me, especially since this reading is turning out to sort of be about women's social issues, I think that they're going to be moving into a path of leveling the playing field for women, making sure that women's cases and so forth get heard. I know they don't deal specifically with equal pay, but things of this nature, making sure that women in the workforce are treated fairly and can earn their share of all the abundance. That's just kind of how I'm feeling about that. I feel like there is an outpouring of work and focus and attention and industry on these issues that are going to end up lifting up Americans, lifting up not just women. You know, when you lift up women, you lift up everybody. You lift up families. You lift up their husbands. Everybody improves when one group improves. So that's what I'm seeing, interestingly enough, for the Department of Justice, that the focus for them, yes, I know they're going to be dealing with the insurrection and all these legislators and all this, but for this reading, this is taking a look at how the Department of Justice is going to be looking at and focusing on social issues that affect women and bringing them abundance, bringing them pay, bringing them affluence. That's what I'm getting. All right, so I'm going to do one more read today on the insurrection investigation. So I don't think they really coined a good term for it yet. This sort of 9/11-like committee, you know, that they're going to be putting together, but there's going to be this big commission, right? And they're going to do this, doing this investigation into the insurrection. How's it going? Let's look at the insurrection investigation. Insurrection investigation. How is it going? Tell us what you can, whether it is about all the Trumpsters and Q people that showed up and did this thing, or the senators and Congress people who participated, military police who participated, these sketchy people like Ginny Thomas who funded this thing. This is huge, the hugest investigation ever. Show me what you can show me, please, Spirit. Okay, just bring it down. Insurrection. Ooh. Okay. So we're starting out here with the Empress, which is about abundance. So in this context, I think that this is telling us how abundant, how do I want to say this? So all the people who are going to be investigating this insurrection, there's going to be an abundance of suspects, an abundance of evidence, an abundance of data, of phone calls, of communications, of emails, of people involved, okay? Again, being the biggest investigation ever, is huge. There's a huge amount of work to be done. This is a huge undertaking. Again, just taking the straight definition of this card, abundance, an abundance of things that need to be looked at, an abundance of people that need to be arrested, an abundance of corruption that went on there, just an abundance of bad business is sort of the face of this, just the volume of it, the scale of it, the scope of it. It's huge. What is the challenge? We'll look at that. We get an upside down card. The Two of Wands reversed. Two of Wands reversed. So, okay. The challenge, okay, so I'm asking about the insurrection investigation. So the challenge that I'm seeing here with this card is their path forward is not clear. I think it's more like a web. You know, they just can't go from A to B to C to D. They don't have this clear path. They don't have, you know, this is our suspect and we'll investigate it and then to a conclusion. This is just way too complicated, way too many variables, way too many people, too many parties involved here. So they're going to have to be really adaptable in how they move forward. You're looking at fits and starts. They might go in the wrong direction now and then. They might take a circuitous route. They might get a little lost in the woods, right? They're just, their path isn't clear. There's a lot to navigate through. And this is going to be a challenge for the people investigating this insurrection. What are they going to have to face? The Magician. Interesting. And I've noticed I say that a lot, so sorry. Okay, so what they're going to have to come face to face with the Magician, I was thinking it was them making magic happen, but no, they're going to have to come face to face with the people who pulled the strings that manipulated this insurrection into being. Who are the magicians? Who are the bad actors, right? Who is it these are all the tools that are needed to manifest something. Who supplied the money? Who provided the passion? Who, did the practicalities of setting up this and, transportation and all the logistics is where I'm going with that. So there were people involved, magicians involved, who had manipulated and had their magic and used their tools and did their thing to manifest this insurrection. I think this is what this is saying, is that as these people proceed in their investigations, they're going to find the people who are able to make things happen, the key players, okay, the organizers, the funders, and of course the people who are the whole reason for this insurrection, Trump. Okay, so foundationally to this question of the insurrection, we have the Chariot. And I think this is just telling us that this investigation is, boom, it's rolling, okay? It's on its way. It's in full swing. It's in motion. It's coming on fast. They're going to make this happen. And, noticing the two different sphinxes on this card, this is telling us that this is going to affect Democrats and Republicans, the House and the Senate. Everybody's going to have to pull together. It's going to affect everybody, but everybody also has to keep this going. If the Republicans fall off, the Democrats can't keep it going with one wheel, right? This is kind of talking about the bipartisan need to move this investigation forward. So this has to be a bipartisan effort in order to keep this chariot moving forward. Okay, so the energy that this just came through, this question of the insurrection, here we have the devil. The devil. So, this is kind of obvious on its face, right? Evilness, addictions, being chained, all these Trumpsters chained to their false idol, the Trumpster, the big Trump. The whole point is being chained is they can always take the chain off at any time. They could always say, I wash my hands of that garbage and not support Q or not support Trump, not believe the big lie. They all at any moment have the ability to recognize truth, see things for what they are, and disengage, okay? But it's this devil energy that keeps people chained up, hoodwinked, lied to, deceived, addicted to the energy of that. This is showing us, aside from that, the malevolent intent that was behind this insurrection from all parties. I mean, these people showed up to overthrow the government, okay? Trump incited these people to violence. There's just so much malintent, evil doing going on with this, or it went on. This is in the past. So this is in the past and the energy moving forward. So where's it going? 9 of Wands. Ooh, So where it's going is going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be very burdensome. It's going to be hard for the country to go through. It's really going to be oppressive. And it's going to kind of bring us low. It's going to kneecap us as a country in a whole bunch of different ways. We're going to feel let down by our fellow Americans. The trust that we have in the police and the military is going to be damaged, right? The trust we have in our legislators are going to be damaged. It's just, the harm has already been done. It's not the investigation that is harming us, but the nation will continue to have to face this during the duration of this process. But this is how we're going to learn and grow, I guess. We're going to surmount this and come out of it a better country. But yeah, and with all the wands kind of almost like a fence or a gate in the back there, this is telling us, there's going to be some people imprisoned. This is pointing to the protective railings that went up around the White House and around the Congress. There's just been limiting of movement, boxing people in for protection. That element is with this card as well. So I think that is the story I'm getting for this investigation. I'm sure I'll look at it again. This is going to take a lot of time. This is going to be with us for years, unfortunately. Okay. But that is it for me today, and I promise I'll be back with you guys very soon to continue looking at all these characters. And, let's talk about some good things too, like some of the things Biden wants to do. I want to look at infrastructure. I really want to look at the Voting Rights Act, stuff like that, okay? So take care, everybody, and I'll see you all in a couple of days. Bye now.